Hello everyone, and welcome to the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroad in Wyoming. Today is June 3rd, 2021. I'm Mark Pruitt, Chief Financial Officer, or maybe Chief Financing Officer, I'm not sure which. In any case, I pay for everything, so whatever it is. This is Layout Update number 19. This is going to be a short update, so let's just jump right in. Last month, we left off in the middle of preparations to ballast the west end of Casper Yard, the icing and classification tracks, plus the main line and the industrial spur in the far back. So starting from that point, I taped off all the track to protect it from any plaster spills and the tempera dirt that was to be added. This didn't include the yard ladder. That will be done with the next section to be ballasted. After taping the track, I added a thin layer of tinted plaster to act as my base for the dirt layer. This filled in any divots, seams between cork strips, and the split between the foam sheets. Then I sifted on the dirt layer. It may be my imagination, but I think I'm getting a bit better at this step. Certainly the dirt is a bit more even than it was before. The taping, plastering, and dirt application didn't take long. It was only May 6th when I got to this point. On the 7th, I removed most of the tape. It kinda left a mess of loose plaster, but a vacuum cleaner had no trouble dealing with that. Then it was time to start ballasting. Using my Casper Yard ballast mix, which is mostly processed backyard dirt with about 20% Woodland Scenic's fine cinder ballast added, I started laying down the ballast. Here, May 11th, I have the arrival and departure track and about 1.5 classification tracks completed. The AD track, with the paint can opener laying across it, is dry. The next tracks back are still wet. So it continued, slowly, for about 2 weeks. On May 24th, I completed adding ballast to all the yard tracks in this area and started adding ballast to the main line. I shot a little video footage to show you how I glue the ballast in place, but I'm right-handed, and like an idiot, I put the camera on my right side. I didn't figure you'd really enjoy watching the back of my right hand for a couple of minutes, so I left out the video. Sorry. Mainline ballasting went pretty quick. It only took 4 days to complete this section. Now comes cleanup and getting the tracks ready for operation. I did manage to get some decent video of how I cleaned up and tested the track after the ballasting was done. I use a wooden skewer to clean stray ballast off the inside of the rail. The point is sharp enough to break loose most ballast pieces, but it's soft enough that it won't damage the plastic spike head detail that holds the rails to the tie strips. You can also feel it when the skewer hits a spot where the ballast doesn't come off the side of the rail. When that happens, I resort to a small screwdriver or an X-Acto knife to pry loose the stubborn stone. I work my way down one rail, then back along the other one. After cleaning off the insides of the rails, I vacuum up everything the skewer knocked loose. Don't want any of those loose stones getting up into the running gear. I finish up by running a Bright Boy along the rail heads. That diluted white glue can get all over the place. I test each section of track by running a loco up and back, watching for any bumps that might indicate a chunk of ballast against the railhead I might have missed. The cleanup and testing took the last couple days in May to complete. June 1st, with the west end tracks all tested and approved, I repopulated the yard with freight cars I'd stored on the other end. I had to move them to get ready to do the next section. Also on June 1st, I taped over the next section of track in the yard in preparation for plastering and ballasting it. This includes the yard throat and a couple more industry tracks, plus the lead into the engine terminal. This month, I also played around with shooting a panorama of Casper Mountain to go behind the yard. Funny thing, my Galaxy S21 camera doesn't seem to be as good at shooting panoramas as my old S7 Edge was, despite having about 4 times the resolution. It's going to take me a bit to get that one figured out. And what about Rocky Mountain Drilling's office? Last month I was moving right along with its construction. Well, here it is as of today. I managed to cut the 4 pieces of roof end trim. That's it for the entire month. Not a lot of progress, but I do have an excuse. I spent somewhere between 60 and 70 hours putting together the planning episodes of Building Casper during the month of May. That was a lot more time than I expected to spend, but in total the 3 videos that make up that topic are about 40 minutes long. And some of the graphics and animations, amateurish as they are, took several hours just to create 10 or 15 seconds of video. If you haven't seen them yet, I've put a link in the description to all 3 episodes just in case you're interested. And that, mercifully, is it for this month. Next month, I hope to make a bit more progress on the layout, with at least a little bit of work on the Chicago Northwestern scenery near Hudson. I know I said that last month too. And ballast more of Casper Yard. Rocky Mountain Drilling's office should see more progress than it did this past month also. The next episode of Building Casper, starting construction of the yard, should be out, but that won't take nearly as much time to produce as the planning episodes did. Famous last words, right? Check out my website for more modeling information on this and previous layouts, plus rail fanning trips to Savannah and a ride on the Cumbres and Toltec. The web address is on the screen with the usual link in the description. Thanks for watching. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you next month.